Political agendas shouldn't interfere with global health, especially when it results in a global pandemic. Isn't that why the WHO or the WHA was created in the first place? It's 2021 and COVID is still a thing.
Toronto and Peel will be moved into lockdown.
Developments about another new strain of this virus.
24 million people in and around Manila into a complete coronavirus lockdown.
You got new strains and new lockdowns in some parts of the world, but there is one country that lives in its own almost COVID-free bubble. And that is a country called Taiwan. I mean, local economy is booming, everyone's traveling within the country, and even cultural events are still going on. Taiwan achieved this status by early prevention of the virus. Taiwan sent medical investigators to Wuhan, China to investigate a new strain of flu. To make it simple, China actually disclosed this as a normal seasonal flu. But the Taiwanese medical investigators discovered that it's actually a highly infectious disease and was neglected by the WHO. Fast forward to 2021, we all know what happened. And over the past year, Taiwan has been striving with its own safety bubble. It's been sharing its knowledge and resources to other countries in relation to prevention and battle against COVID. Taiwan even tried to regain their observer status in the WHA last year to again share their resources to the international community, but that got denied. And why is that? Despite Taiwan's success and contributions to the world about COVID-19, how come Taiwan hasn't been granted its observer status in the WHA again?
Socially and culturally, Taiwan was at its best compared to the world. We held one of the biggest Pride Parade last year. Concerts and music festivals were resumed. People were being very shocked around the world that how come Taiwan could still hold this event? However, we even held the New Year Eve event that people can still watch fireworks around 101 like we used to do. This year, Lunar New Year was busy as usual. People still go on traveling, celebrate together. Just feel like COVID does not exist anymore.
When things started to go well with Taiwan, the country released the Taiwan model. And this serves as a good base for prevention and fight against COVID-19 that can be utilized by other countries. They started partnering up with different countries to share knowledge and resources for epidemic control. The Taiwan Can Help campaign emerged from this, and a lot of countries acknowledge this and are happy to receive and also to collaborate with Taiwan for this pandemic.
Taiwan Can Help.
Later on, the first batch of vaccines came in. We see health officials take it as a strong reminder that things will go smoothly sooner or later. Taiwan also announced that a bigger batch of vaccines will come in a few months' time to be released for the general public. One of the biggest surprises was the Taiwan and Palau travel bubble, as this was the very first international travel for tourism.
By having this corridor, we can demonstrate to the world how two COVID-free countries and COVID-safe countries can work together.
Last year, Taiwan was excluded again in the WHA. But aren't these results enough to be a part of the World Health Assembly? The results alone should have been the standard for international disease control and prevention. Or are we still missing something here? So there's one common denominator here, and that is China. And this one big problem is the PRC's One China principle. Although Taiwan is operating as its own country, China always believes that Taiwan belongs to them and that China will represent Taiwan in the international bodies such as the WHA or the WHO. Didn't we establish earlier that the WHO neglected Taiwan's early findings of COVID-19 cases, and at the same time, China did not disclose the virus properly to the international bodies? So what would have happened to the world if the WHO didn't neglect Taiwan's findings early on? So I saw this a couple of weeks ago, and I think the world is finally catching up to what China has been doing. Why censor Taiwan's ability to help? And how come if they claim that Taiwan is a part of China, China doesn't use this information to help the world? This goes to show that the global pandemic is just a huge political asset for China. But since the world is catching up, this event is now proof that China is only doing this for its political interest. And it doesn't serve a purpose at all in this global pandemic that the world is dealing with. But on the other side, this is a huge win for Taiwan. And it's becoming more apparent as more and more organizations back Taiwan to be a part of the WHA meetings.
Does the government support Taiwan's participation at next month's meeting?
We have always been consistent in supporting Taiwan's meaningful participation in international fora. Taiwan's role as an observer in the World Health Assembly's meetings is in the interest of global health. We welcome the participation from the entire international community to work together to promote global health.
Even in this state, the international community should be alerted no matter where the information came from. Political agendas shouldn't interfere with global health, especially when it results in a global pandemic. Isn't that why the WHO or the WHA was created in the first place? But all politics aside, Taiwan has been so successful with its battle against COVID-19. With over 1,100 confirmed cases and only 12 deaths, here in Taiwan, it seems like we live in a completely different world. And this exactly shows what would have happened to the world if politics weren't involved in the global health. With Taiwan being a part of the WHA or other international health committees, we believe that the global community can benefit from Taiwan's resources and knowledge against infectious diseases. So that leads to you. Do you think Taiwan should be a part of the WHA and the WHO? Do you think the world would be in a better place if they listened to Taiwan early on? We'd like to know your thoughts, and we'll see you guys in the next video.